Good morning, everybody. This is Diggs. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest, and today we're going to be talking about the number of targets that are hit by your special skills. So that's going to be like Pillar of Fire, Meteor Strike, etc., etc. Let's go ahead and dig in. Now, before we get too far into this video, guys, I am working in partnership with Snack Club in order to give you guys a giveaway. So in order to participate that and earn potentially $100 in Marblex, make sure you go to their Discord that I have pinned in the comment below. All you have to do is participate in the Nino Kuni section and get your chat rank up to chat rank 2 in order to be eligible. So make sure you guys go check that out. So I have been doing skill practicing for a while today. I've been testing out every single skill in order. I've been recording myself doing that, and then I would go through frame by frame in order to figure out how many hits are hitting the opponent, whether they're hitting random targets or the same targets. From what I can tell, they are always random targets, and what the cap on hitting enemies is, because there is a cap for a variety of skills. Now, we are again talking about just special skills. There are some other categories which I will look into as well. We'll probably do basic attacks, and we'll probably do basic skills as well for all the different classes, but I figured this would be a good place to start. So let's go ahead and go through kind of what we figured out here. So Pillar of Flame is going to hit 5 targets, and then it's going to hit 5 targets randomly as it continues to hit. Meteor Strike is going to hit 7+ targets. Now, the one thing with some of these that are able to hit 7+ targets, we don't know if 7 is the cap or if it can actually hit more. 7 pretty much is going to be the most amount of enemies you're ever going to have on yourself unless you're double or triple packing. But 7 is also the cap for the training dummy that you can place. So Meteor Strike is going to hit 7+. And then we have Firecracker, and Firecracker is a weird one. It hits one enemy, but then it hits 6 random enemies with the 3 first and then 3 more. And so you would think Firecracker would hit like the same enemy twice, but it's actually just going to hit 3 and then it's going to hit 3 again. So in total, it's going to be 6 random hits, but it's just one of those weird skills that is a little bit different compared to other skills. Now, Water Bomb, I remember back in the day, there was huge controversy that Water Bomb was single target. And a lot of people use the evidence that it's only a single target when you are going through the skill explanation. And the skill explanation and demonstration is not accurate. Water Bomb actually hits up to 3 targets. And you can see that right here. You can literally see the 3 hits populating up from hitting the enemies with Water Bomb. Tidal Wave only hits 5 as it passes through enemies. It can't hit any more, and it doesn't hit as it continues to go through. You would think that, let's say there was 5 at the beginning and 5 at the end, that it would hit the 5 and then it would hit the next 5. That might be possible if there's enough space between them. But what I think is going to happen is it's just going to hit the 5 and it'll keep moving. Just because I think it won't go fast enough for it to hit the 2 targets, and there won't be enough space in between. Shadow Disc and kind of all of these attacks that are a straight line. One of the things you will notice is that it's not entirely random. It's generally where the hit actually hits the opponent. You can see that with Light Ball. But what happens is it's almost like a flat target, so it'll kind of hit whatever is closest to you. So you can see here that I am shooting at a bit of an angle, right? I'm a little bit further to the north in the picture, and I'm shooting at an angle. So those are the 5 that are going to get hit up there, while the 2 on the bottom actually don't get hit. And that does seem to be a trend. Shadow Disc, for example, when it goes through the enemies, it does register as like a square that goes through the enemies, but it goes through, hits, and then it waits, and then it comes back. And on its way coming back, it does actually hit the enemies that it is coming in contact with from that direction. Frozen Storm is going to hit 7+ enemies. Pretty self-explanatory. A lot of these large AoE abilities circled around the player do tend to hit a lot of enemies. Ground Eruption as well, very similar. You're going to see, you know, does hit multiple targets, very large AoE. Leaf Dance is a little bit weird because you would think that Leaf Dance would actually, because it's a large AoE, hit a large amount of targets, but it actually only hits 3 random enemies, and it jumps around and randomly hits. Not very reliable. Grasping Thorn, on the other hand, does seem to hit 5 enemies, and it seems to hit 555 from what I can tell. It comes so fast. It's one of the fastest abilities to look at, that even going through at 1 frame per second, it was hard to identify how many hits it was doing and when it was doing them. And it looked to be 5 and 5 and 5. So like it hit all 7, but the hits were so close together and it looked like all the dummies got hit at once. I mean, you could basically say this is a 7+ attack, but technically it's only hitting 5 at a time when you do go through it. Static Field only hits 3 enemies at a time, and it is based around you, so it's random, and it's 3 hits entirely around your character. Tempest of Light, for anyone who's ever used Tempest of Light is literally just like a circle of death, and literally hits everything and just obliterates everything. So Tempest of Light does hit 7+ enemies. Lightning Orb, again, you can see some of the testing here. You can see the back enemies didn't get hit here, but all the enemies that were forward and closest to me did get hit. So it does hit 5 enemies. Dark Balloon, a little bit weird, does actually hit 3 random enemies multiple times. Interesting with Dark Balloon is the status ailment seems to hit like 5 enemies in total, 5 to 7. It's really interesting because the status ailment goes out first with it. So it's not necessarily as reliable as you might consider. Shadow Disc, we talked about a little bit here. You can see the disc go, I believe this is coming back to me now in this picture where it's hit 5. This might be going out that it's hit 5. And then I did test the class-specific Solar Flare, and Solar Flare did hit 5 enemies here. So the class-specific does seem to hit multiple targets. I was considering testing other classes and their class-specific abilities. I just don't have all of them unlocked right now. If you guys have that information, I would love for you to know. If you want to test that information, it's relatively easy. You just go and set up the dummies to have 7 dummies, and then you go and you kind of kill them. So let me know if you guys found this video helpful, if you found it interesting, if you found it a little bit different, and I will catch you guys all next time, and have a great rest of your day.